Hi, this is Logan T. Smith for Opinions Subject to Change, here to talk about Red Tails. But first, this video is not sponsored by Harmony remote controls. These are universal remotes. There's come in lots of different models. This one is the Ultimate One. And it's got a touch screen. You can program a bunch of different things. You can use it with a hub or without a hub. And I'll tell you what though, if you're buying a remote control that has a touch screen, you're probably spending too much money, especially since they're discontinued. In the Second World War, the Tuskegee Airmen were trained to fly and then mostly left out of the main action of the war. The Tuskegee Airmen are American aviators, all of African descent. And they faced some racism trying to get into the action the way they felt they should. So Red Tails follows a group stationed in Italy, tasked with patrolling areas far from the front where the pilots spend their time searching for trucks and trains with German markings, as they strive to prove they are capable and worthy of true combat assignments. Red Tails probably has two main selling features. First, the cast is largely black actors playing real black heroes. Second, this is a World War II combat movie that isn't about Pearl Harbor or D-Day. So, there you go. Apart from the leads, the acting is often stiff and uninspiring. The intro leads in with a group of bomber pilots, and they're all in some pretty serious distress, but you wouldn't necessarily know it just from listening to them. It sounds pretty routine. There's not a lot of emotion coming through these characters. And if they're not going to get emotional, it's pretty hard for us to get invested in it too. Red Tails has also been criticized for leaning too hard into stereotypes, and maybe it does. I'm not an expert in this kind of stuff, but it's the best movie I know about the Tuskegee Airmen. In fact, it's the only movie I'm aware of about the Tuskegee Airmen. It takes a fairly gentle approach to the racism these pilots would have experienced. The filmmakers don't shy away from it, but I'm sure it was much worse in real life for these pilots. Red Tails is an old-style war movie. The good guys are good, and the bad guys are pure evil. It even features the main villain is like a scarred Nazi that's super racist. So there's not a lot of nuance in the characters here. Also, there's a lot going on in the story, with several lead characters, each with their own sort of subplots and stories. It can drag a little bit as they're trying to fit everything in. And I really found myself wanting to get back into the planes, back into the flights where this movie really shines. The flights are excellent. They feel realistic, they sound realistic, they look realistic, and it just feels great. These are by far the best parts of the movie as far as being emotionally engaging and exciting. So that's where they shine, and the flow sort of drags down a little bit with some of this other story stuff they're trying to develop with the characters. With very little sexual content, only moderate coarse language, and mostly look-away violence, Red Tails is pretty tame for a war movie. Not going to be for small children, but it's got to be on the low end of the PG-13 rating. I quite enjoy Red Tails, and I give it an 8 out of 10. But I'll tell you what, I know this is not going to be among the great war movies. It's more of one that's a good movie that's about a story that's not often told, and you probably aren't aware of it too much. So if you're looking for a war movie that's about a story that's a little less known, Red Tails is probably a good choice. But if you don't already like war movies, you're probably not going to like this one. And if you're looking for more information, of course, you can go to my blog at logantsmith.ca. Thanks.